When Dave first asked us to speak, we weren't. Yes, I was born and reared, as we say, in Texas. And one thing you'll notice about Southern accent is we take short words like heat and cooling, and then, we take those short words like heat and cool, and we make them really long. And then we take long words like heatin' and we cut off the ing. That's just what Southerners do. We take long words, make them short, short words, make them long. So that's how you'll always know a Southerner. Of course, it might also be by y'all. John and I we both worked for a large manufacturer in the first part of our career, and then we went into and we have done training and coaching for contractors specifically, but also on the distribution side for 22 years with our own company, and we joined Service Nation, who we are still working for part-time in 2016 or 15, somewhere along the line. We are both very proud of the fact that we have been named into the Contracting Business Hall of Fame. So that's probably, we've just been doing this a long time, so we're very proud of that. So today, when John and I got in the industry, when I got in the industry in the he got in the industry early 70s, I got in the industry the late 70s, no one even had heard the term culture. Culture, what's that? So it's all these millennials, and by the way, those of you that are 25 or younger, you're new, you're not millennials, you are called Zoomers. I love it, you're Zoomers. You've grown up in the age of Zoom meetings. So if you're anywhere from about 10 to 25, you are a Zoomer. So that's where really this whole issue of culture came into being. Those two generations have brought it into companies, and it doesn't matter whether you're a contractor or whether you are one of the many exhibitors around the room. You all have culture, and we're going to talk about it. What is it anyway, and why does it matter? John's going to jump up here every once in a while. Okay. So we picked up the theme from this meeting. What is culture? Culture is working hard and working smart. So that's part of what culture is. But that doesn't give you very much to work with. Every one of you sitting in this room, your company, the company that you work for, the company that you own, you have a culture. It happens every day. It's happening in the parking lot. You have a meeting and you announce a change. You know how effective that change is really going to be? It's taking place out in the parking lots. Everybody's talking about it. Talking. Now it's Talkin, no G. Talking about it. That's where the real culture's taking place. Or it's happening at the coffee pot. Because guys, you've got a culture. It's happening in your business, whether or not you're controlling it or not. You've got one. So the key is you want to have some control over it.
Absolutely. And one of the fun things I get to do is I get to work with a company that's involved in the merger and acquisition area. A lot of companies being valued and being purchased in the contracting trades. And I'll tell you, when you look at the valuation side of the business, the companies that have dialed in the last decade on this issue of culture, what Vicki's talking about, and have really threaded the needle in terms of blossoming a real, active, live culture element in their companies, those have the signature of the highest valuations, multiples of EBITDA that I have seen. So this culture thing's a big deal right now. And if you haven't focused on it, or the companies you work with haven't focused on it, this is one thing. This is one of the imperatives going forward. You want to make sure that you're orchestrating, a cultural transformation of your organization.
And that's exactly what this next slide says. Guys, culture, if you want to control it, if you want to have some say over what it is, it's there whether or not you like it. But if you want to have some say over it, it's got to happen in a very strategic, initiative way. You've got to have planned processes, systems, programs in place that encourage this culture and the culture that you want to have. We know lots of heating and air conditioning contractors and lots of manufacturers, lots of vendors like you guys for all kinds of products that you have. You have a culture, so you want to have a positive influence on that culture. Interesting today, this is a very hot topic. We were watching the Today Show this morning. They had a whole segment on this thing. You know, we've all been hearing about the Great Resignation, and it's the millennials and the Zoomers who are leaving their jobs. Okay, sometimes it's the older people, but it's mostly those two groups. And guys, there are more millennials. It used to be that boomers had the largest majority of people in the U.S. Well, not anymore. It's the millennials, and the Zoomers it's probably going to be close. I don't know. I haven't seen any numbers on Zoomers yet, but definitely the millennials. So they are controlling your workforce probably now and definitely in the future, and they care about this stuff. So instead of talking about the Great Resignation, what this whole show was about this morning was the Great Retention. So you need to be thinking about what are you doing to retain your employees. One of the things they talked about, we no longer have, most companies no longer really have, or a lot of companies, no longer have what would be called a formal review process. But they are having what they call a stay review. Well, what's a stay review? It means, you actually schedule some time to spend with your individual employees, and you talk about what they need to improve, and you talk about what it is that they're doing. We don't talk about raises and that kind of thing in a stay review. We have another time to do that. But we talk about progress. We talk about their goals. We talk about their training. We talk about what it is they want from their jobs. And those are the things that we focus on. And as management and as owners of companies, we've got to start incorporating and thinking outside the box. Pay is not enough. It's certainly important, but it's not enough. What are the other benefits? What are the things that make an employee actually like coming to work? And I've got some facts and stuff to show you about how important that is too. So it needs to be part of your planning process and your leadership in your company. Now, believe it or not, and this is one of two things is happening in your company. You are actively growing your culture, or that nasty culture is growing on in spite of you. And that's the parking lot. That's around the coffee pot. There is a culture. And I want all of you to just stand back a minute, because if I walked around this room, I don't have time, but if I walked around this room and I said, in one or two words, give me the culture of your company, every one of you could do it. Now, is it a culture you're proud of? Is it a culture you want? Is it a culture that is fostering the growth of your employees and therefore the growth of your company? Or is it one of those that goes, oh, now I understand why they might be going to my competitor. Oh, I understand now why they might say, I think I'll just take a couple of months off. So you really need to have that self-talk and that self-definition with yourself about your company's current culture. And you're probably going to need to talk to your employees about it. So what is company culture? What's another definition for it? It is the personality of your company. Every one of you have a personality. Is it a warm personality? Is it a caring personality? Is it the bosses in charge personality? Is it the I'm going to get in trouble if I make this move personality? All of you have a personality. Your companies have one. And so you need to be thinking about what is that personality. It's the one. Culture also defines the environment. Do you have in your company an environment where people can get excited about their own personal growth, where they can get excited about the customers that they work with and their growth and their well-being? Is it a culture that has fun? You know, fun's part of culture. It's okay. You can have fun on your job. And again, some cultures promote that and some cultures kill it. So you need to be asking yourself, are we a culture that promotes having fun? Are we a culture that kills it?
We've got a company we work with out on the East Coast in the Falls Church, Virginia area. Now, this is a larger company. They have
contractor. They're a contractor.
Yeah, it's a contractor. They do HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. Probably have their fleet of vehicles on the road is probably about 90 vehicles that they have rolling around town. They found they needed to go to an in-house service bay concept where they have their own auto mechanics and service bays. They have 3 auto mechanics to keep the vehicles on the road. And this new generation, expectations, this whole idea of being taken care of, feeling important, ownership of the company, it's a 3rd generation company, decided that at cost, any employee that wanted to bring their vehicle in, for major or minor service, they would do it for them using their service bays at cost. And that was a big deal. And that was a big deal. A lot of companies, for the first time, their benefit package, they're looking at mental health services. That's a big deal. Maybe you've heard about gamification. If you haven't, you will. Gamification is one of the things that makes working for you and your customers fun. And so all these things are transforming, the space that we work in and day out. And you got to have the antenna up. You got to have the radar set to lead rather than follow.
That's an example of a contractor thinking out of the box. He is allowing these employees to service their personal vehicles at cost through the company. That's a perfect example of additional benefit. You also heard him say, and I think they get wrongly judged on this sometimes, but millennials, guys, they did grow up at a time of certain expectations. They have been in many cases, and Zoomers too, but particularly millennials, they were well taken care of by their parents. Well, this is an extension of that. You will help them personally take care of their vehicles at cost. So that is the kind of benefit that your younger workers will appreciate and part of what's going to give you your culture. So very important to realize that you create the environment. You create it. You have the resources. You provide the benefits that make people want to come to work. What is company culture? It's also shared values. If you've never had a discussion, if you've never taken the time to think about what your company's values are, do that. Do a list. What are the things you believe in as the owner, as the management process? Do a list with your employees. What do they believe in? What do they think the company stands for? What are your shared values? What are the traits and behaviors? What are the things that if you have these values as a company, what are the traits and behaviors that employees will demonstrate, will show to consumers? What is it that our values, how do we show them? Do we look neat? Do we look tidy? Do we show up on time? Do we wear a smile? All of those are part of how you define your company culture that then translates. You've got to be able, and you see them, again, if the culture's bad in the company, nobody's paying attention to how I look. Nobody cares if I smile. Nobody cares if I show up to the customer's home on time, the consumer's home on time. All of that is communicated. Those behaviors are occurring in your business, whether you like it or not. So it's time for you to take some control over that culture because it's going on. Certainly it's part of your heritage and traditions, the thing about your company. I'm sure there are some contractors in this room. You've probably been in business 100 years. There is a tradition with that. There's a tradition of probably culture. There's a tradition of quality, a tradition of taking care of the customer. There's a tradition of customer service. So how are you, again, explaining, and how is that taking place today? How does that show up in the traits and behaviors of the company? And certainly in the language and symbols that we use in terms of how do we greet the customer? How does the first person that talks to the consumer on the phone, are they smiling? Can the customer hear it? Is it a positive encounter, or is it one where I was doing something else, Mrs. Homeowner, and you interrupted me from entering yesterday's invoices into the computer system? You know, that comes across the phone. And that's all, again, part of culture. And you've got to make sure that your culture to your consumers, that the culture that is there, it's already happening, that we are again, transmitting a very positive culture to our customers. What is culture? Culture is what is acceptable versus what is not acceptable. A real simple little advantage, and a real simple example I use. It's Friday afternoon, okay? Did I say it's Friday afternoon? And did I say you're here in the part of Utah where it gets to be 100 degrees? Did I also tell you that it's July, the end of July? So it's Friday afternoon, it's 100 degrees. We're out here in Utah where it's 100 degrees. It's Friday afternoon, did I say that? It's payday, did I say that? Okay, so it's Friday afternoon, it's payday, it's 100 degrees, you're a heating and air conditioning technician. You get a call at 4:30 from the office, okay? You're tired. You've already been on 5 calls today. It's 100 degrees. I'm tired. It's payday. And all of a sudden I get a call at 4:30 in the afternoon. Do I want to run that call? No, I'm tired, okay? It's 4:30, it's payday. You know what I'm thinking about? It's something nice and cold to drink, not having to go make another customer call. All right, I've already made 5 today. How many do they expect me to make? So I go out there as a tech. I go out there, and sure enough, there's not enough refrigerant in the system. I check it. I put a pound of refrigerant in it, and I say, okay, you're taken care of, and I leave. That's a culture. Is that going to fix the problem? Probably not. If it does, it's a short-term fix. By Monday, they're going to need to call somebody else back out there. But that is an example of culture, okay? That is a perfect example of where we as the company haven't set certain standards of what we expect from our employees. And our employees are delivering to what our standards are. Okay, so again, you've got to take all that into life. It is a chosen way of life. Disney, I love this. This is the Disney equation. Culture equals desired behaviors. Okay, so when you have a culture in your company, a positive culture, there is an expectation of the way you as the owner, you as management, you as an employee will behave. And if we do that, the conclusion is we're going to get results. We're going to sell more. We're going to get 5-star reviews from all of our customers. We're going to, make more money. We're going to be able to overcome right now those price objections that we're getting from customers. Okay, all of those, because again, we have that whole certain standard desired behaviors, and culture equals results. I'm also going to show you that. And I'm going to ask you this question. Does culture really matter? Let me show you some facts. This comes from a report. I'll show you at the end who it's from. So it was from a Gallup study. 63% of employees are not engaged with their company. 63% of your employees don't really care. 24% are actively disengaged. They're just, I show up for a paycheck, I may or may not behave like the company expects. In addition to that, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this, 87% lack motivation and they're unhappy. That's why we got the Great Resignation going on. And a mere 13% of our employees typically are actually engaged in what they do. In addition to that, so does it matter? Does it matter? Let me show them this fact and I'll give you the mic. 19% of companies that have a high level of engagement for their employees, they actually increase their profits, and 28% grow. Companies that have low levels of engagement from their employees, 33% decrease in profits and 11% decrease in growth.
Yes, culture equals engagement. Engagement equals results. Results equal profitability. That's one of the connections that are made day after day with example, case study companies. A recent survey, they asked, thousands of employees, why did you leave your job? Do you know what the number one reason was? Money? No, that was actually third or fourth. The feeling of being not respected, not treated fairly, not appreciated. That's 1, 2, and 3. That's why people left. Okay. We do ride-alongs. I was out in a ride-along this has been several years ago. It was a cooling call, and Mrs. Homeowner hands the technician a postcard she received in the mail. And she said, Billy, whatever his name was, tell me about this. Billy says, hell, I've never seen this before. I don't know what it means. They treat me like a mushroom where I work. They don't tell me anything. They keep me in the dark, and the rest of that mushroom story. So what does that say about the culture of the organization? That's a barometer of the culture of an organization. What conversation is happening with the customer?
Would you hand me that Kleenex? Right there, thanks. Okay, so John's given you some good examples, and this just shows the reason why this thing called culture is important. So, some more facts. Disengaged workers have 37% higher absenteeism. They also have a lot more accidents, and there's also more errors and defects. Companies with low employment engagement scores have lower productivity and lower profitability. And all of this comes as from all of this previous research. It was a study done at Queen's School of Business and in conjunction with the Gallup organization. I'm going to show you some examples of culture statements. This is the one from our company. We actually work for Service Nation. Service Roundtable is one of the membership programs that we sell, and we'll talk about that at the end. But these are the culture statements. These are the why Service Nation exists. These are our values. We call them our why statements, our we believe statements. And you can see there's a bunch of them here that a lot of you could have. Integrity, we do the right thing. We do the right thing naturally without being told. We're honest. We're creative. Creativity, we make new stuff. We build, we add things. Some of our others, innovation, we find ways to do things better. Community, we enable relationships. We create environments where relationship building thrives. Profitability, we make money for ourselves and we help others make money for themselves. Growth, we improve year after year. Fun, you notice that fun is huge. That is a big part of the culture at Service Nation. We smell the coffee and the roses and the wine. We make business enjoyable. Self-direction, we take initiative. We are self-starters. All of these are part of the definition of who we are. Service, flexible, we work as a team. Results. I love this statement from Richard Branson. There's no magic formula for great company culture. The key is to just treat your staff how you would like to be treated. Kind of like the old golden rule, isn't it amazing? Now, there are 4 steps to building a culture. The first one we've just been talking about. You need to know, every one of you in this room, I don't care if you're a 2-person company or you're a 100-person company, you need to know what's your mission statement, where are we trying to go, what's our vision statement, what are we going to look like when we grow up. That's the definition of a vision statement. What is your company going to look like when it grows up? It's never going to grow up, but what's it going to look like? That is how Tom Watson at IBM, he said, I thought about IBM, this company that he started in the early days. He says, I thought about it and I decided what I wanted it to look like. When we got to be big, because I knew that's where we were going, I wanted it to look like this. He had a vision. He knew what he wanted it to look like. And he said, and we started to act like a company that was already that size when we were not that size. And I think that's the critical part. Know where you want to go and start acting like that company before you ever get there. That's how you're going to get there. So know your vision, know your company values, do a list, do your why statements. Second thing is, take the temperature of your employees. Find out what they think. What do they think are the values? Lead a little, have a company meeting and list, what do you think are the important things? How do we treat our customers? What are the values that our company has? What are our resources? Make sure everyone who interacts with your employees is listening. Are your managers listening to your employees? Make sure your benefits are fair and look for ways to help your employees grow. And again, make sure there's a great book. Those of you in the room that haven't read it, I think it applies to anyone in business, not just heating and air conditioning contractors, by a man named Gino Wickham, and the name of the book is Traction. And one of the things he talks about is how we've got to have the right people in the right seat on the bus. You need to look at all the people in your organization. Do you have the right people in the right seats on your bus of where you're going? You've got to make sure that that's that is happening. So you've got to get that buy-in. Do you have the right leadership team? Are you attracting like-minded people? What opportunities are available to engage your workers? And you've got to communicate. Are you consistently having meetings with your employees? And there's a company, I think we should do that. Let's do the Lou Habaika cheer. All right, we're gonna do this because y'all been sitting and that lunch is settling. I want everybody to stand up. Okay, everybody stand up. We're gonna do this. This is the way this company, it's kind of like that Walmart cheer. All right, everybody come on. This'll wake you up, stretch your back, all that stuff. Okay. This is Habaika Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing. They're in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, here's what they do in the morning. And you got to get your hips into it, okay? All right, this is it. I'm alive. Everybody, I'm alive. I'm awake. And I feel great. Feel great. One more time. I'm alive. I'm awake. And I feel great. Okay, woo! Congratulations.
Now, I don't know what you think about that, but let me tell you how important an activity like that is to jazz up your organization. Vicki talked about the Great Resignation. Well, a sampling of the people that quit their jobs. Check this out. A sampling of the people that quit their jobs made this statement. They checked the box that they would gladly give up a week's salary if the boss just said, "Thank you, I really appreciate what you do for me." Give up a week's salary for a pat on the back. Do you give pats on the back in your organization?
Need to be doing that, guys. Here's another example. Here's a company that this is a heating and air conditioning and plumbing contractor. They have a 14-point culture statement that everyone in the company, when they hire a new person, they have to read it, they have to understand it, and they have to sign it. And these are their 14 points. One of them, it starts off with, it says commitment. I commit 100%. Ownership. I'm truly responsible for my actions. Integrity. What I promise is what I deliver. Excellence. Good enough isn't. Communication. I speak positively of my fellow team members, my clients in the company. Success is all about win-win at all times. Education. I consistently learn, grow, and master. Teamwork. I'm a team player and a team leader. Balance. I have a balanced approach to life. We were talking about earlier, part of that Today Show thing, one of the outside the box thinking was, people, again, we have a sense, I think it's part of the American culture, that we're supposed to be working all the time, okay? We've got to work. Now, fortunately, the millennials and the Zoomers are teaching us another life. Boomers were very bad about that. And so this company, and of course it's a company run by a younger person, they will actually pay employees if they do not check their email while they're on vacation. They actually get back, they check to see if they've been on their email anytime on their vacation, and they pay them if they haven't been. All right? That's a way to make sure your employees are getting that work-life balance that they need. Now, that's also thinking outside the box. Fun, we've already talked about that. I created an atmosphere of fun and happiness. Systems, follow the system consistently. I'm consistent in my action. Gratitude. Gratitude is one of those things, if you've ever talked with mental health experts or anyone who knows anything about the brain, gratitude is an essential element of having a positive mental health attitude. You need to be grateful. You need to state what you're grateful for every day about your job and your life. And abundance. I deserve my abundance, and I'm easily able to both give and receive it. Here is a company video that I think describes very well.
I'm Ken Goodrich, and I want you to know what we at Gale Air Conditioning believe in.
We believe in doing things the right way, not the easy way.
We believe in going when the customer needs us, not when it's convenient for us.
We believe in showing up on time.
We believe in sweating the details.
We believe in eliminating every squeak, rattle, and roll.
Because if you don't, bigger problems will come.
We believe in supporting each other, sharing information,
Asking questions and
being a crew.
We believe in getting the job done, and no excuse is acceptable.
We believe in making sure the customer is happy and do whatever it takes to make the customer happy.
We believe in leaving everything we do better than when we got there.
We believe in super sealing the air ducts because no one needs to air condition their attic.
We believe in respecting your home, wearing shoe covers, not leaving fingerprints.
And we clean up after the work is done.
We believe in installing everything level, plumb, and square because
This is the signature of a superior technician.
We believe every customer deserves our very best work.
We believe in acting with urgency and compassion.
We believe in having fun at work.
We believe in helping our community.
We believe this is not a job, it's our passion.
We believe that transparency and communication are important.
We believe in being authentic.
We believe in replacing every screw, even the ones the last people left out.
So that we can tighten the unit up like new.
we believe in replacing the smoke detector batteries to keep your family safe, no charge.
9-volt batteries, small thing to keep your family safe at night.
We believe in training our crew every single day.
We believe in making friends every single day.
We believe in making RAC installations a piece of art in your home.
We believe in making air conditioners last longer.
We believe in air conditioning rejuvenation.
We believe in drug-tested, background-checked, clean-cut, SADE certified technicians.
We believe in lighting up the darkness with ghetto flashlights.
We believe in boo-boo cake.
We believe in the Wheaton Grayton.
And we believe in boom, boom,
And we believe in wiggling like a puppy.
boom, with gusto and emphasis. Boom, boom.
Come tell them what the SADE test is, John. Did you hear him say we believe in the SADE test? John will
Well,
tell you
this
what the SADE
company,
test is.
now this is a large company. This is about $150 million in revenue, multiple locations. The SADE test, SADE is the dog that represents the organization, Ken Goodrich's dog. And if someone comes in to fill out an application and SADE growls, they don't get hired. SADE has the last say on who's acceptable.
All right, I'm going to skip this video just,
At Hunter Supermax,
well, I'll
we
let
have
you
some
see it.
core values. They help us accomplish our mission.
Integrity. We believe in doing the right thing, no matter what the cost.
Giving. We believe in giving back to our team, our customers, and our community.
Professionalism. We believe our team and our customers deserve professionalism in the way we look and serve and represent ourselves in the community.
Family. We believe in family before work. We also value our work family, and we believe by treating them well, that transfers into treating our customers well, just like family.
Communication. We believe in great communication with our team, customers, and vendors.
Efficiency. We believe in working smart. We value the gifts that we have been given and the opportunity to be good stewards.
Faith. We believe in faith. Faith is the core purpose of our team here at Hunter.
Guys, both of those companies and numerous other ones that I could have given you an example of have created those types of videos and have put them again on their Facebook pages, on TikTok. That'd be a little long for TikTok, but for all kinds of things to just again. They attract consumers, they attract employees. Can you imagine if you were looking for someone and you were competing against a company that had that kind of video that they were showing to their future employees? I mean, that's powerful stuff, and that defines culture. One of the things as a Service Roundtable member you have access to is all kinds of good stuff in terms of creative. One of the things that we have available to you is a template to create a company culture book. This is one. This is an example of one that was created for Rogers Heating and Air. It shows all of their benefits. It's a nice, beautifully well done printed little, brochure catalog. It shows all the different things about this company, talks about its core values. It talks about all the different awards that they have gotten. It talks about personal development. It talks about what they provide in terms of health and well-being, all the things that are so important to, again, those millennials and Zoomers. So all of this, the fact that we have fun, the fact that we give back, that's a critical aspect. All of you should be thinking about how you give back to your community, how you give back to your industry, because that is a big deal. Again, younger people care about this stuff, and they want to know that as a company, you are also passionate about a way that you're giving back. So this is an important part of that as well. They also have a section in theirs on living green, being part of the recycling. One of the things I said at the very beginning is a company culture doesn't mean you can't have fun. Here's an example of a company that has a wonderful company culture, very positive, in Granbury, Texas.
Daphne family, I have an important public service announcement regarding your air conditioning. It's hot outside. You need to make sure you keep this unit clean. Keeping it clean the best possible will keep your utility bills down and keep plenty of cold air in your house. When was the last time you cleaned your air conditioner? Has it been a month? 4 months? 5 months? That's too long. Every now and again, especially in the heat of the summer, it's important that you clean your unit. Rinse it out with water, you're going to benefit from it tremendously. A lot colder air inside, much happier unit. This is a public service announcement from that.
I don't know how he kept a straight face through this, but this is definitely a big part of what their culture is about. All right, go on. We're going past that. No.
While you're looking for that.
I need to stop that. Nope. Oh, okay, you go ahead while I'm trying to...
Daffin Mechanical is a company Vicki and I have worked with, especially in the strategic planning, their business plan for about 4 years running. That planning process allowed them to grow year over year like over $2 million each of those year-over-year periods. Significant growth. And recently the company sold. His daughter McKenna, she actually was the digital guru for these videos. That video you saw was the most popular one in terms of hits and watches that they put on their YouTube channel and put out in the marketplace. Those videos, that digital marketing, if you will, created brand awareness on a measurable basis that was exponential in the Granbury, Weatherford, Stephenville geographies where they have presence. So it does make a difference. It makes a huge difference on the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement.
And as fun as their videos were, this was even more fun. Starting, and I believe this may have been the very first year, they do two things. They have fun and they give back. Starting in 2016, every year they took 13 actually, because they do it for December 2. They do a calendar, and that calendar features their technicians. in a cleaned up GP version of a Chippendale calendar, okay? And you can see, and they have fun and this is it's beautiful. It's a well done calendar, and you can see some of the pictures that they have up there. Now, this calendar, and this is where they give back, in addition to having fun doing this, the text, in addition to that, they have every year around Thanksgiving, they have what they call a luncheon for the widows in the community. One of the ways the company gives back is they give a free maintenance agreement to every widow in the community. And they invite all these widows to the luncheon, and all these technicians are there. And let me tell you, John and I were there at one of these when they were given the calendars, and you do not want to stand in between a widow who's trying to get to one of these texts to get their autograph. They'll run over you.
Yeah, you have not seen fear until you see one of these widows with a walker headed your way, and you stand in the way of one of these calendar texts giving them an autograph on their own personal calendar. I mean, you'll have wheel marks up and down your back because they move that fast.
So guys, there are so many ways to have fun, to give back, and still make it part of work. There are also what we refer to as culture killers. Certainly lack of transparency, not letting your employees know what's going on. They're figuring it out, or they're spreading rumors out in the parking lot or around the coffee pot if you're not telling them. So share with them. Make sure you share the marketing ideas with them. Micromanage. You guys that own your own business, you don't have time to do this anyway. So hire good people. Teach them how you want it done. Make sure they understand the values of the company and let them do it. Red tape, don't give them tons of red tape to have to jump through in order to take care of a customer. I'm a big believer, solve a customer problem at the earliest contact that customer has with your company. Every one of you should have a defined program for what a CSR can do with a customer who calls in with a complaint. How much are they authorized to do so that every complaint doesn't have to come back to you? Let them see if they can't solve it. They're trained. You hired them as CSRs because they're good at working with the customer. So let them work with the customer to solve the problem and give them the authority to be able to give them $50 off a discount or the next maintenance agreement free or whatever it might be. Give them some power to let them do those things for you. Inaccessible management. You're never there because you're always out in the field working. You never have that time to talk with your employees. Calling an employee out in front of other people. You can certainly do that if you want to praise them, but not if you want to criticize. Never saying, good job. Killer phrases. We tried that before. It won't work. Or that'll never work here. It just isn't that way. We just don't do things that way. Don't use killer phrases with your employees when they bring you ideas. The biggest mistake a small business can make is to think like you're a small business. Remember the Tom Watson story and what he did with IBM. He pictured himself for the company he wanted to be, and then he put those behaviors, those actions, those systems, those procedures into place. And sure enough, he became that. So key takeaways. Culture happens one way or the other, so you might as well be in charge of it. Culture has an effect on the bottom line. We gave you some statistics about that. You personally, as the owner, the leader, the manager, you have the biggest impact on culture. And good culture is a result of a definite process, of focusing on it, of thinking about ways to put games into place, whether it's a tech calendar. One of the things that we have on Service Roundtable you can download as content is a bingo card. And it's got things like sell a maintenance agreement, sell a water filtration system, sell a
Wi-Fi thermostat.
Yeah, a Wi-Fi thermostat. It's got all of these spaces filled out on this bingo card, and then the techs compete and see who can get a blackout on their bingo card first. And then there's a prize for who gets it first, and there's a prize for who gets it second. Think of fun ways to incentivize your technicians and your plumbers. Beware the culture killers that we talked about, and it becomes, if you've got that kind of positive culture, if you've got that thing like we showed you from Gettle and Hunter, if you've got those kinds of place, guys, I tell you, those companies don't have to worry about where their next employee is going to come from. The employees are coming to them. The future's coming to them.
When we do a business plan for an organization, an important element of that plan is this idea of leadership and culture development, that it's looked at as like a marketing issue because it's so important for retention, that your company can become a desired place of employment in your community. It can be one of the places where people want to work. It'll be a place where your existing employees want their friends to come to work because they share some of the same values and core feelings.
We've seen a number of companies who have these very positive cultures become that company that's named the best place to work in their community. So those kinds of things are possible. As a wrap up for this, I want to tell you, as was said earlier by Dave, we are here on behalf of Service Roundtable, which is one of the membership programs that we have available to you. Every one of you who is a contractor, as Dave said earlier, has a free membership right now. I hope you're taking advantage of it. If you're not sure how to take advantage of it, John and I will be next door during the exhibit hour. You can come. We'll make sure you know what your sign-in is and all that good stuff, because you get access to some content. If you become a full service Roundtable membership, you get access to about 4,000 pieces of content. That's everything from marketing content to pricing calculators to hiring ideas and ads to scripts for customer service technician or customer service reps,
digital support,
and all kinds of digital support. So it's there. You also, as a full service roundtable member, it's about relationships and training. We have 2 big meetings a year similar to this one. The one we had last year in, where was it? In Louisville, Kentucky. There are over 1,500 people there. It's an opportunity for you to network with all kinds of contractors, as well as every one of the products in this room was represented there in one way or another. So it's a great opportunity for you. As Dave mentioned, even as a free member, you get access to rebates. Make sure you know what those are and how to make sure you're getting access to it. If you want to upgrade to a full service roundtable membership, it costs $50 a month. There's not a company in this room that can't afford $50 a month to have access to those kinds of resources, and half of your $50 a month is given back to UPHCA. It comes back to you, $25. We pay that out quarterly. It's just one of the other benefits that you get because your association has chosen to align itself with our company. And it's yours. Your board decides whether or not it's a scholarship, a golf tournament, however way that you want to use that. So it's another way that you can help your association simply by doing something that's good for you, that's going to help your business. And finally, probably one of the things that John and I are most proud of, I always have to do this kind of public service announcement, is the fact that 12 years ago we were part of a group of people who started what's known as the Joseph Grow Foundation. It is a foundation, it's a 501c3 foundation charity, which means everything is deductible on your part, totally run by volunteers, and I want to tell you about that for 2 reasons, which I'll hit at the end of this video.
I wanted to introduce you to a wonderful nonprofit foundation, the Joseph Grow Foundation, that we personally support. I'd like to ask you to support them as well. The Joseph Grow Foundation provides assistance to those in the contracting industries who have suffered life-altering disabilities such as brain injury or paralysis. How can we go wrong supporting our own people in their greatest time of need? But don't just take my word for it.
We have provided more than $750,000 in grants to over 70 families in 30 states. And we've helped them purchase such things as wheelchair accessible vehicles. We've helped with home and bath remodels and so much more.
Our grants have helped service technicians, electricians, plumbers, roofers, construction laborers, and more. And you can help them as well.
In fact, our help is not just limited to the person working in the contracting services industry. Many of our grants have benefited family members of those individuals.
When people find themselves faced with truly life-altering situations, they have lots of questions. The links section on our website provides answers.
Never looking back, never giving up, and always remaining positive is not just a slogan at the Joseph Grow Foundation. It's a philosophy we live by every day.
The Joseph Grow Foundation is staffed by contracting industry veterans who have their own experiences with disabilities. Just ask my dad, Joe.
Hi, I'm Joseph Grow, and I started this foundation because of my own life-altering injury. I spent my career in the HVAC industry, and I have personally experienced how important our services can be when tragedy strikes. Whether a corporation or an individual, you can help us provide assistance to people from the contracting industry as well as their families during their time of greatest need. Please consider a generous donation today to make that happen. Visit our website at josephgrowfoundation.org to donate and see how you can join us. Thank you.
Guys, I think that's a good summary of what the foundation is all about, and every time I get an opportunity to talk to people in our industry, we make sure we tell them about the foundation. 2 reasons. 1, you can go on the foundation. I want you to sit there and think about something you spend $10 a month on. I mean, $10 a month. I mean, Netflix costs more than $10 a month, doesn't it? Starbucks, I mean, that just takes 2 cups of coffee, okay? God. So I want you to think about something, because a $10 a month donation, which you can do, well, you know, it just automatic, like all the other automatic things that happen in your life, can make a huge difference. Again, we always have so many people who need so much. You can't imagine in some of the stories, people having to take showers in their front yard with the hose because they don't have a bathroom that their wheelchair will fit in. Now, if there is nothing more humiliating than that, can you imagine having to take your shower in the front yard in your swimsuit with someone standing there spraying you off? I mean, those are the kinds of things that we help make happen. And again, as was said in the video, it's not, number one, you don't have to be injured on the job. In fact, probably only about, of our 70 plus grants we've given, only 2 or 3 of them actually occurred on the job. The majority of them occurred, you know, in car wrecks, motorcycle wrecks, falling off ladders, those kinds of things. We also have helped children of people that work in our industry. So really consider just a $10 a month donation. You can go on the Joseph Grow. The other thing, and this is equally as important, because you represent a lot of employees, a lot of people associated with our industry in this room. If you ever know of anyone who has some type of, again, life-altering accident, disability that needs help, please send them directly to our website. We get a lot of referrals through the Christopher Reeve Foundation. That's great. But if you just send them directly to us, there's a place where someone that needs a grant, we don't give money, we give services. So we, you know, we'll help them buy the van. We'll help them. We've built lots of ramps. A lot of times you as contractors have been involved with us, especially on bathroom remodels. We pay all the materials, and then employees of your company. Another way for you to demonstrate to your employees how you're giving back. Employees of the company have actually done the work done the labor at no charge, which allows our funds to go further. So appreciate it so much. I hope all of you got 1 or 2 ideas about making culture happen and work in your company. I'm alive, I'm awake, and I feel great, okay? Woo, bye.